Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of RHOX Garage. I'm your host, Dan, and on today's episode, we're going to be installing part number LGT-143 on a Yamaha Drive. Now, before we get started, let's take a look at everything that comes in that kit and the tools we're going to need to perform the installation. So when you open up your kit, you're going to have your turn signal itself with the control box already attached to it. You're also going to have your pigtail harness, which you would use if you were hardwiring the turn signal onto the cart. After that, you have your bag of hardware, and if you purchase the kit as part of the T1 turn signal kit, you're going to get the LGT-143, which is our steering column cover. If you did not purchase this as part of a kit, you can order that part separately. So now that we've taken a look at everything that comes in the kit, let's take a look at the tools we're going to need to perform the installation. So first up, we have our cordless drill with a step bit that goes to 1 3/8. After that, we have a number 3 hex key with an extension and a ratchet wrench. We have a 13mm open-ended wrench, a Phillips head screwdriver, and of course, some safety glasses. Now before we get started, we just want to go over a few safety precautions. So now, as always, we want to make sure that we turn our cart off, set our parking brake, and if we have an electric cart, we're going to flip the tow run switch to the tow position. Now also, because we are going to be working with the electrical system on the cart, we want to make sure that we completely disconnect our battery or our battery pack from the cart. Once that's done, we can go ahead and begin by removing our cup holders. So now that we have our cup holders removed, we can go ahead and attach our turn signal to our steering column. However, before we do that, with the LGT-143, we do need to take off the box-style flasher relay before we attach it to the cart. So before we go ahead and install our turn signal onto our steering column, we need to figure out which spacer we're going to be using. So in your hardware pack, we have 3 different size spacers. We have a large, a medium, and a small spacer. I'm going to start with the medium spacer so that if I need to go up in size, I can do that, and if I need to go down in size, I can also do that. Now that our turn signal is attached to the cart, we can go ahead and find the spot to drill our hole to pass the harness through into the cup holder area. With that hole drilled, we can go ahead and pass the harness through and make our electrical connections. So with our 9-pin connector, we're going to go ahead and leave the pin for the high-low beam disconnected because the LGT-143 does not have the high-low beam functionality. So now that we have all of our electrical connections made, we're going to go ahead and reconnect our battery so that we can make sure everything works before we go ahead and button everything up. So now that we've verified full functionality of the turn signal, we can go ahead and install our steering column cover. However, before we do that, we are going to need to trim that piece. So in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and hold it up to the steering column cover, mark where I want to trim it, and then I'll go ahead and trim it, and then I can reinstall it. So now that we've trimmed our steering column cover, we can go ahead and install that onto the cart, and once that's done, we can go ahead and reinstall our cup holders. So now that our cup holders are reinstalled, that's going to do it for the install for part number LGT-143 on our Yamaha Drive. Thanks for watching this episode of RHOX Garage. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.